Hey guys, take a minute here with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to review the iPhone XS or the XS after using it for almost 2 years that we bought off Amazon renewed program. Now we're going to talk about our experiences buying this phone when we first originally bought it, which will leave the link in the description section for that unboxing review, and then talk about what happened with this phone after almost 2 years of usage, because over time, you guys asked about a long-term review of these phones that Amazon sells that are pretty much pre-owned devices, but how well do they last? And that in this video, we're going to talk about that and sort of any issues we experience it, and then also give you guys some tips and kind of tricks to help you guys navigate Amazon and make a purchase and how you can avoid, potentially not picking a good device. So talk about the iPhone XS here. Just a little background on this phone if you guys don't know much about it and if you guys haven't seen the video. Well, this phone was actually released in September of 2018. Now going into 2022, it's still a great device in a lot of ways because of what it offers and the features that you do have with this phone. The one thing we'll say is that it's coming to 4 years now. We know iPhones for the most part are supported almost 5 years and beyond. So even in 2022, this phone is going to be a really good device. Even going into 2023, you're probably going to be seeing this device a lot more of. So when we bought it from Amazon back in 2020 of June, I believe, here we bought it for around $500 or so. Now $500 at that time seemed almost half the price, because when it came out in 2018, this device was marked for $999 for the base 64 gig model. Now if you went for a bigger storage, you paid a lot more for it. So we paid around $500 for off Amazon, so half the price even after 2 years. And that kind of shows that Apple iPhones usually generally tends to hold their value even longer time. Now, if you compare the price now on Amazon, which will leave some link in the description section for you guys, now you can actually score this device for around $250 to $270, depending on where you get it. As we're looking through it, some of these prices you can see here, $273 and much more, like $274 plus taxes, of course, around $250 to $300, which we'll leave the discounted link in the description section for you guys. So overall, the one thing we do want to mention about this that you guys want to know is the battery health. So for initially when we got it, the battery health, I believe, was around probably just a little over 90% or so. Now after almost close to 2 years now, it's at 86 now. This drop about 6 or 7% of battery health, and this phone was actually used a lot for different purposes, from simple day-to-day calling and texting to browsing, using all the apps, doing different tests, doing videos, and all of that. We used it close to over 2 years now, so it dropped in battery health. Generally, Apple recommends you replace the battery after it's below 80% or so. So 86% is still pretty good. It's not 100%, of course. 100% is when you get a new device. So dropping about 7 or 8% isn't too bad. Now there's a good tip that we want to share with you guys if you guys haven't seen our video on how to keep your battery health from going down really fast, which generally is around keeping your phone charged between 20 to 80%, and then also along with those couple other tips we share on that video. So battery wise, it's been good. The other thing we're going to talk about is the display here. So over time, one thing you might notice is that with the older phone or pre-owned phone, that you might have dead pixel, but that wasn't the case for this phone here, which we're going to show you when we move these widgets around here. You'll notice here that there's no dead spots on the screen here, and everything is fluent here. This is a 5.8-inch OLED display, and the OLED display generally has an issue when we've seen in Android devices where they start to fade or get screen burn or screen shadow, which makes it sort of this tint. But here we don't really see that with iPhones, and that's really good. There are devices we did see a little bit of shading, but this isn't the case with this device here. So even after using it for this long, it's been good. The other question you might have is the display original? And one way to check if the display is original for the most part is that you see this True Tone option. As you can see, that option is available. Most of the time when you replace a screen, if it's not done correctly by Apple or a third-party authorized repair shop, this is not there. That's because they use OEM display, but this display we believe is original here. Same with the cameras here, it's original camera. The camera on the XS does have these two 12 megapixel camera. Again, this is the first time along with the iPhone 10 we did see those 12 megapixel cameras, and then 7 megapixel camera on the front facing camera here. So now let's talk about the iOS version of it. So when we got it, it was on iOS 13, I believe, and now after 2 years or so, it's on iOS 15, which is the latest version of iOS. And iOS 15 is supported pretty well here. We haven't experienced any terms of performance issue, which you experience when you start to update an older phone to some of the newer updates, but that hasn't been the case for us, and that kind of shows that this phone again holds up really well for us even after so many years of usage, considering that this is $1,000 phone and you're getting it for almost a fraction of the cost. Again, it's a great device in that sense here. So other thing to talk about is the phone's ability to do multitasking, because it does have that A12 Bionic chipset on it. As you can see here, when we're opening up apps and scrolling through, you can simply just go through these without much hesitation. And when it comes to gaming and wise, it works as well. So talk about, did we really have any issues with the phone here? Well, from Amazon Renew program, to be honest, we didn't really have any issues with it. But the other thing about Amazon renewed program is that you get 90 days guaranteed. So if you, let's say if you have any issues within those 90 days, that's almost 3 months. You can pretty much return it and get your money back. So even though this is a pre-owned device, you can be rest assured that if you have any issues, simply open up a return and Amazon will pretty much refund you, or you can get another device from them. So that's the other thing to note about it. So a couple of tips for you guys if you guys are going to be looking to buy a cheap discounted phone like this one from Amazon, is that when you do look at a listing, make sure it's compatible for your carrier. Usually unlocked versions are generally better to get, but you'll find that they cost a little bit more than the locked version for a specific carrier. Locked means that you're going to be simply using only on that carrier and you won't be able to use it on other carriers, whereas unlocked phones, you can pretty much use it on multiple carriers or international as well. So that's going to be a quick thing. Also, the other thing is to look for third-party sellers, because the renewal program is sold by pretty much sellers from third party. Make sure that you know what seller is shipping it. Although Amazon is shipping it through Amazon, there's different sellers for it. Again, generally most sellers on the new program go through some sort of process, so they're generally pretty good without any issues. So we would say, is it worth getting an iPhone? Pretty much any iPhone from the renewal program, we definitely think so, and this long-term review kind of proves it for you. The reason why you might be asking why this phone is in a really good condition is that we made sure to use a case, which we always recommend with any iPhone, and a tempered glass, which will save you a lot of headaches and repair costs because of these glasses that can shatter. If you have a really durable tempered glass, that will pretty much crack, but not the screen here, and that's why you won't have any scratches or anything like that on this phone here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this long-term review of an Amazon renewed iPhone XS, and we want to hear from you guys if you bought a phone or experienced with Amazon renewed program or considering buying it. Leave a comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.